Hello, hello, everyone. Hello, hello. It's nice to see all of you. How are you today? How are you guys doing? No, wait, I forgot my streamer bot. No, I forgot my streamer bot. Wait, Sochi, wait, just give me like 2 minutes. Give me like not even 2 minutes. Give me like a second. Okay, a second might be a little bit short. Give me. Wait. Okay, now give me a second. Yay! Thank you for the headpad, Sochi. See, it worked in the end. It all worked out in the end. But hello, everyone. Hello, Sari, always looking after us as the mod bot. Hello, Yuki. Hello, Mayume. Hello, Rory. Hello, Sochi. And hello, wait, did I see someone else? Hello, Legend. It's nice to see all you guys. How are you? I hope you're all having a lovely time. Roar! Oh my god, thank you so much for the subscription. That's so sweet of you. Oh, oh, thank you. I always forget because it doesn't happen often. I always forget that it's the Mountain Blade Warband quest complete sound. That just gives me a dopamine rush whenever I hear it. 35 watch streak. Oh my god. Love me some Mountain Blade. Yes, I too like the mountain and the blade. But I hope you guys. We're almost there. We're almost there to the weekend, guys. We're almost there. Thank you so much again, though, Sochi. Or, not Sochi. Rory. There's so many E names in chat these days. I'm getting, like. I'm getting confused. But thank you. It's very sweet of you. But we're almost at the end of the week. We have one more day to go. Like, half of the day. Because the weekend starts on Friday. But it starts halfway through Friday. You just got to get to the end of Friday. Not well, no, that doesn't make any sense. I'm contradicting myself. No, but you guys know what I mean. You guys know what I mean. The weekend does start like halfway through Friday, so we're almost there. You've almost survived another week. Congrats. I hope you guys are doing well. But you said today was really nice. Yesterday was awful though. Oh no, May. You got flirted with by a random guy. X had another depressive episode, and I had a full mental breakdown talking about my bio dad. That was that sounds like a wild day. I won't even say that has ups and downs. That just sounds like it was. I mean, maybe the flirting was an up. It depends if he was nice about it. If he wasn't weird about it. You're so excited to finish this month. Oh, we're like, Yuki, don't look at the calendar. Yuki, don't look at the calendar. We still have a little bit to go on this month. I don't wanna let you know. Um Oh, Rory for the 5 stream streak. Congrats. I don't know, I've been doing okay. For me it was really the last few months that I wanted to have finished because there was just so much work to do. But thankfully it really is starting to come to really calm down for me, which I am so glad. So glad. He asked me if I was single, and when I said no because I wasn't interested, my dad asked for my number anyways. I don't know about you guys. But if I was approached by someone, okay, and they were like, um, trying to, as the kids say, holla at me. I think the kids say that. And they're like, "Oh, I don't care that you're taken," or they say something like, "Just because there's a goalkeeper doesn't mean you can't score a goal." It would just be like, "Wow, you have a terrible morality. You're not a moral person." Like I get why those type of fantasies for people are a thing, the taboo nature of it, the risque of it, and I understand why it happens too. That it's that basically. There can be a whole host of other reasons, but ultimately, I'd always say, some people try and justify like, oh, maybe it's not a great love life in the relationship. Well, either sort it, or if you guys can't sort it, maybe it's time to end it. Now, with marriage, well, marriage is like it should be a commitment, but some people don't keep their commitments. I can respect his confidence, and the scarf on his head was a beautiful neon indigo, but that's about it. When the best thing you can say about a guy is, well, I guess he was confident and he had a very pretty scarf. It's not going too well. The kids haven't said that in 10 years, Rua. Well, I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to start walking down the street. And I'm going to walk past people and be like, holla at me. I'm holla at you. I'm going to holla at you, girl. And then they're going to be like, and then the girl's going to be like, well, I'm going to holla back. She won't say girl because it wouldn't. I'm not a girl. It wouldn't make sense for her to say girl, even though I know that's the song. Yeah. I was going to try and make that a joke, but Rua, what if they ain't no holla back girl? Then I guess my confidence will be crushed, and I won't try and ask someone out for another like 5 months. As it goes. But yeah, my legs are sore. I did a lot of walking and a lot of just a lot of movement in general. It wasn't even just walking; it was a bit of running too. But my legs are sore. What was? I think it was like 18 kilometers that I moved yesterday, which is like something like I think like 10 miles, 11 miles. A decent distance. You can just feel like the little bit of tiredness the day after. It does feel like it. The month won't end. I haven't gotten that about this month. I guess for me, I came off of really busy months, so it was like this feels like the time that I finally get to relax. You know, that was me powering down. Well, I don't want to fully power down. Like more like go on standby. Yeah. I had such a weird experience earlier. I was like scrolling through my phone after I got in. I was lying down. I was nice and cozy. And oftentimes when that happens, I maybe nap for half an hour. Excuse me. I was looking for a video to watch. And I saw this one where it was something about like how terrible Raid Shadow Legends is, and the guy opened up talking about like Japanese gacha games and talking about like Westerners trying gacha games. So it seemed like this guy knew what he was talking about, but I was kind of like listening to it, but I was kind of already starting to fall asleep, you know? I wasn't really paying attention to the video. I was kind of just going, But I could still hear him as I was sleeping. You know, when you're in that kind of in-between state where you're asleep, but you're still like, you kind of hear what's going on. That was sort of what was happening. And then at one stage, I remember kind of like half starting to wake up again. And I was like, oh, the video's still going. I didn't know if it was that long. And like the guy was talking all about like the development of the game and like how it was basically just the worst aspect of all gacha games. And then I looked at the phone, and it was actually just a Raid Shadow Legends advert. And that's why I was so confused, because I went to sleep and I was kind of half dazing, listening to a guy tear into Raid Shadow Legends, and then all I started hearing was, you know, make sure you download Raid Shadow Legends today and use my code BimbleFuck to get 5 pulls on the worst heroes. And like 2 McChickens. That in game, not actual McChickens. What, that would be my code. Would you guys use my code McBimblefuck or whatever the hell I said? For me, it's just been a lot of full studying this the month of your birthday, so it feels like a year, not only a month. I see. Well, I hope if you guys are studying and preparing for stuff, because I know exams and things will be coming down the line for people, I wish you all the best. I have gone through many exams. I know the pain of it. I know the pain of exams. Don't you guys worry. I believe in you. I'm sure you guys will do amazing. And amazing is relative. Amazing for whatever is good for you. You know, try your best, and you can only do your best. You don't have to ace it. You don't have to be top of the class. Do enough to when you come out of the exam and when you get your results, you don't sit there going, oh, I can't believe I didn't do well, or I didn't like meet where I expected myself to be. Come out saying I did what I could. I did all I could in the amount of time that I got, and I gave it the best attempt that I could. And there's nothing more I can give. And that it's the same with anything. In sports, there was times that when I was playing sports, I got beat off the pitch. My team we just didn't perform well. But you never want to come off the pitch saying I could have pushed more. I could have sprinted more. I could have hit more tackles or something like that. So yeah, do your guys' best. You'll do amazing. Hello, son. It's nice to see you. What sort of exams? Knowledge exams. Exams where they test your ability to retain and utilize knowledge. My last set of exams were kind of weird. They didn't really have questions. They had questions embedded in the topic, but it was like a case study. So you got given a load of information, and then like in the middle of the information, it would be like, oh, can you do this for me, please, using the information that you have. And then there was also aspects where it was like, it was expected that answers would build on top of each other in some places. So it would be like your answer from a bit back may feed into another answer, or may be able to be used to justify a subsequent answer, like maths. So sort of there was maths involved. Rory, why did your color just change for me? Look, you can see it on screen. You went from green to blue. What the fuck? Did you do that? Get your digital McChickens today, a $300 value. But don't worry, it's $300 value, but it's on sale permanently, but we never say that, for 95% off. Buy it for fucking $15 today. And we'll throw in an extra 5 gems of our shitty digital currency. For today, though, Ruadh, I finally got in contact with my baby dad, learned that my parents were lying about a fair bit of things, and if the weather is nice, I'll be meeting your dad on Sunday. Well, you know what, Mayume? However it goes, I hope the reconnection goes well. Don't know in regards to what they were lying about, but I hope at the very least it wasn't with poor intentions. We won't delve too deep into that because that's a very personal thing. But I hope everything can sort out for you. Hopefully, there's no top of class thing because it's my medical work license. Well, as long as you're not getting like arrested for like medical malpractice, I think you're doing good, Yuki. Higher level maths? Oh, like maths? I did do higher level. I did okay. I will say this concretely. I know I could do better. I know I could have done better in the Leaving Cert. For those of you who don't know, the Leaving Cert is like the main set of exams in Ireland. I still did well. I still did like quite decent, but I know I could have done better in higher level maths. I just did not put the time into it, and I kind of panicked on the first day of the exams. I kind of like got in my head and I couldn't. Ruadh conceals himself and expresses emptiness. Well, yeah, son. I don't want to dox myself. I took a geography class once, and then fucking you guys start connecting the dots. Oh, the geography class? There's only one place that ever does a geography class. He's clearly in Pennsylvania. He's not a real Irish person at all. I changed it 4 times, actually. Ah, I see. Hello, welcome in, Nesvano. Sorry, I'm kind of a little bit behind in chat. Thank you for the follow. Hello, Lowen. Thank you very much for the first time chat. That's a very cute little wave emote. That's a cute little kitty. I do apologize for you guys who are coming in here expecting like immediate ASMR. This is the chatting portion of the stream. I should probably, label it as such. I feel like sometimes I may accidentally lie to people. But it is what it is. Also, I'll be lurking to study. Have a lovely stream. Do your best, Yuki. You got this. Good luck and take care. Hello, Nomi. Welcome in. How are you? I'll try and soften my voice a little bit, but I may get loud at times. Here we go. No, I'm at why did I say here we go? From time to time. But yeah, best of luck, Yuki. May your knowledge be good. This is the yappity yap yap from the Irishman. Irish people things. Very much. We're very chatty people. The chatting portions of streams are often the best. They are, Lowen. They are. I feel you even see it with like really popular streamers, like people who get hundreds of viewers. They'll be chatting away, and then they'll go to stream whatever game they're doing, and their viewership will drop by like 100 people or something. I'm good, and you? And how is Not a Rock? The grey snail. Oh, he's well. He's a good snail. He's. I guess snail heaven's probably pretty good. You probably have all the leaves you can eat. No one steps on you. That's probably an important bit. But good evening, 1x157. It's nice to see you. How are you? We will be going back though to our reading of Brian Boru and the Battle of Clontarf. We still haven't finished the introduction, by the way. We literally, that's kind of my plan for this stream, is by the end of this stream, I want to be finished the introduction and be into part 1. To be fair, part 1 is quite long. Like, it's about 20 pages a stream, which I think is okay. Introductions. Hi. I'm 1x157. Parents tell their kids about Rui, the Slayer, to scare them from moving away very slowly. Wait, what? Is this a reference to that? Snail parents. I see. I I thought you were just saying. I thought you were just accusing me, Morky, of murdering children. I was like, what? When did I ever do that? Other than the snails. Sorry, bad jokes tonight. You're fine. You're fine, 157. That's probably what I'm going to try and refer to you as, because 1x157 is a bit of a mouthful. Is it? 1x157. 7. 6 syllables. 157. It's 5. I'm shortening it to one less syllable. Well, it's what, a sixth of efficiency? Yeah. I don't see you killing humans. Snail genocide. We already know that you did it once. It was an accident. Listen, the 4 snail. It was an accident. I didn't mean it. They were all just terribly spaced in such a way. It was literally wrong time, wrong place for all of us. I didn't want to hurt them. I love snails. I think they're cute little gooey guys. Hello, Big Chum. It's nice to see you. You come with unhinged energy. I see. See, Rory agrees with me. I don't know. For those of you who don't know, I once stepped on 4 snails in relatively rapid succession. Probably all in the space. Oh, I exist. Oh. I see. Okay. Exist. I see. That's actually kind of a neat. That's neat. I like that. Exist. Or I exist. A certain army of... Hey, let's not get too political. We all try to, I like streams to be a place where we can all just unwind and relax and not worry about things. My brain has decided to be happy for once, and I got free stuff and a free positive mindset. Wait, someone was just giving away a free positive mindset? No, it's fine. Like I will at times dip into discussions of God, kind of more heady, heady political theory and stuff and philosophy, obviously, but I try not to get too bogged down on things. Did the protests disrupt you at all? They did not. I was all good. For those of you who don't know, basically there was a massive protest by mainly farmers and haulers in Ireland. Some of you guys might have heard that. Because it was actually kind of like a big enough thing. It got like very popular on Twitter. Sweet. I got disrupted, but I didn't really care. I did feel bad for people who were like who had to sit there for hours. It's so surprising. I feel like I can solve world hunger and push my stupid anxiety away. Let's go, big chum. We love. I mean, solving world hunger would be pretty good, but I mean, if all that amounts to is that you don't feel anxious, hell yeah. You have two buttons in front of you. One cures your anxiety. The other cures world hunger. Which one do you press? You should immediately press the anxiety, and the guy just looks at you like, "What the fuck? What the fuck, dude? You could have cured world hunger." Yeah, but I was anxious. I was anxious. I was anxious about pushing the cure hunger button. What if it kills all the people? Yeah, I thought through it too much. What if it ends world hunger by like immediately killing everyone who's hungry at that very instance? That would be fucked up. Like imagine imagine if that's how Thanos like was like, I'll make sure there's enough resources by making sure that only the people who currently have enough resources are able to live. And he snaps his fingers. And you decided I'll like skip breakfast this morning. My stomach is feeling a little weird this morning. I won't pick up my like croissant or something. You're sitting there. It's like it's like 5 minutes to lunchtime. I could do with a good sandwich. Why am I turning to dust? The body pillow. What if I press both at the same time? You cure world hunger, but you give everyone crippling anxiety. So, which you know what is probably just the state of the modern world. I feel like anxiety has become a very big thing for people these days. Anyway, I'm sure it was a thing for others, but you hear a lot more about it. That's a cure to anxiety, I guess. No people, nothing to be anxious about. Yeah, you get all the anxiety from all the people who are starving. Oh god, that would be fucked up. Mike is sending messages in chat, but it's not showing up. What? Huh? I'm shadow banned on Twitch. Where are my messages? Mike, what did you do? Mike, why are you shadow banned on Twitch? Let me unban. Let me see if I can. Can I even see you in chat? Mike, are you logged in? I can't see you on chat. Hi, Pip. Willow. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay, I do see you. Yeah. You're also still subbed to me. That's so weird. What the heck is shadow banned? It usually refers to when someone isn't properly banned. Like they don't get something notifying that they're banned, but they're quietly pushed out of the algorithm. So, for example, let's say you're making tweets, and you usually get like 20 likes. You might suddenly start getting 1 or 2 likes. Now that might just because for whatever reason engagement is low, or it might be because you've been shadow banned because maybe a tweet you made Elon angry. He was like, "Fuck that guy in particular." What did Mike do? Oh my god, I don't know. What did Mike do? Wait. Try number 4. What the heck? I get regular banned too sometimes. Shadow banned? No, Ivis, don't pinch me. I didn't see if it popped up, but hi, Ivis. Nice knowing you, Mike. This is so sad. Why? I like... Yeah, I can't see you at all. The weirdest thing is that I can't at you in chat. Did you send something? Well, could be a network connection if they're using ChatGPT, etc. It can overload the browser and result in a caching issue. Try holding Shift and clicking the refresh button on Twitch. Mike, try that. What that person's what I exist said. Try that one. That might work. Otherwise, like maybe just like clearing cookies or something. I hate having to clear cookies. You know, if something isn't working as like proper, you're like, well, I guess I better go clear cookies. And you're like, oh man, I have to sign into every single fucking website again because I always forget to untick that one. I want to eat cookies now. Oh, I got to have a Rice Krispie cake yesterday. It was quite nice. I haven't had a Rice Krispie cake in a long time. I kind of want to make Rice Krispie cakes. We used to make them a lot. And we'd put like marshmallows in them. You know, I know you're not meant to eat cooking chocolate. You're not meant to eat the cooking chocolate, but I liked eating the cooking chocolate. It was tasty. It was tasty in like not normal chocolate way, but it was. But it's yummy. It is, Pip. It is. That's the thing. It is yummy. Even if it's unhealthy. Let me check in. Ask Ruadh to ban and unban me. Are you sure? I can't even like Mike. I actually can't even at your name in chat. Like that's the thing that's really weird to me. I see you in chat. I see sick of Mike in my users in chat, but I don't see you. Like or say like I do see you, but when I try and at you, it doesn't work. Maybe Mike just disappeared fully. So like you're on stream. Like it shows that you're on stream. Let me try this. Sick of Mike is not currently banned from this channel. Okay. So to ban and unban me. Okay, we ban Sick of Mike. Drew didn't draw enough yaoi. Unban. Okay, so I've now banned and unbanned you. Congrats. Didn't draw enough yaoi. I'm gonna screenshot that because that's funny to me. I gotta save it before I do anything. Mike Reborn. Did that work? Sag. I mean, I feel like at this stage, the best thing you can... Why would this be... Let me... Hang on, let me... Holding shift forces an actual refresh from the browser, not a partial refresh, which is the normal. Ah, I didn't know that. That's pretty neat. Followage gone. Oh my god, wait, yeah, you're not following either. I guess, yeah, wouldn't your followage... Well, I don't have follow enabled. Don't worry, guys, I'm VIP. Now you have to give me VIP so I can chat. Is this all just a prank? Is this... How do I give someone VIP? I did it this way. Okay, I've added you as a VIP. Let's see if that works. What if what if he's really just photoshopped that image in our Discord? Pog champ, as they say. It's working. Hi, Mike. Welcome back. He became Santa Claus. Released. What happens if I... How do I remove VIP? How do I remove VIP? Are you still following me, Mike? Does that count? No, I just got... I don't know how, though. Un VIP. Oh, it works that way. Followage sick of Mike. Okay, let's see if that works. He's just not going to comment. He's just not. That's what Fua told me. Oh my god, Fua's so smart. Oh yeah, so like it didn't work. Sick of Mike. Yeah, that's so weird. That's so weird. Fua's so smart though. I wonder what that is. Why would you be stopped? Was it happening in Fua's chat as well? So it must be like he must have actually gotten shadow banned. One of your weird comments to a male streamer, to a male VTuber, got like up the chain to like Jeff Bezos himself, and he was like, "I can't be having this kind of sick freak in my chat." And he like personally shadow banned you. Your messages are invisible in channels you're not VIP and mod in. That's so weird. I've never seen that before. Huh. Hopefully that doesn't continue to happen though for you. We'd hate to lose Mike. But it's nice to see you, Mike. How are you? You missed Morrowind yesterday. Not yesterday, Monday. You missed the Morrowind stream. Can't chat anymore. It's so over, dude. What did you do? Yeah, see, that's what I'm wondering. Don't pinch me, Howoo. Don't pinch me. I was asking earlier if you were going to do another one. Did you just think I was just, like, ignoring you? Hi, Howoo. And hello, Tori Wako. Is it Waku? Wako? Wako. It's nice to meet you. Welcome in, welcome in. How are you? Is that a... I thought that was Shu from, like, Niji Sanji for a second. But no, it's Daki. I like how wide the face is on that emote. I'm goody. How's your day? My day's going pretty good. My legs, my like calves, thighs, and butt are all kind of sore because I did a lot of movement yesterday, a lot of moving around at relatively some walking, some jogging. So yeah, I lurk, have fun, Rory. Have a good time doing whatever you're doing. You hate soreness. I don't mind soreness when it's like from good times, from like exercise and stuff, leg day. Technically, yeah. Like I what did I say again? I think it was like 17 or 18 kilometers that I did. Just in general movement over the course of the day. That wasn't too bad. I thought I was being ignored until I saw my messages not appear on stream. Oh my god, that would be so sad, Mike. Dude, oh my god, I can't imagine what that would be like if you just joined and I was just ignoring you. That would be so fucked up. This guy's drawn me as a handsome man one too many times. I will no longer interact with him. But yeah, I'm glad we fixed that. I'm glad we fixed that. I hope that gets sorted for you. I haven't done leg day in a little bit. I need to do a day. I was so busy over the last couple of weeks that I haven't been able to focus on it. But I'm gonna go back to it. I'm gonna try and do maybe I'll do some deadlift Saturday or Sunday. And then I'll do, alongside that, then after the deadlifts, I'll do like some isolation work with leg curls and leg raises. And some calf work. I think that would be good. And maybe, depending on how tired I am after the deadlifting, I might do some hip thrusts too. If you done day leg day, you're gonna look like a chicken. I have. We've been over this, Haru. I have pretty big legs from my time in rugby and doing a lot of squatting. Sounds fun. You can be a ghost and say whatever you want. Chicken. We like chickens. I do chicken. Yeah, your 20-something inch thigh. Do I have to go get the fucking measuring tape again? God damn it. Because you mentioned that, I have to check. No, fuck you, Pip. You, you sneaky poking me in the face as I went away. How dare you? How dare you? Poke in the face while he's AFK. It was directly on the nose too. Directly on the nose. Proof for it's fake. The proof is me, is the sound of me dropping a bunch of shit in the background. I don't know if you guys heard that, but like I just like knocked over a bunch of stuff. Okay, let me. Oh god, standing up hurts. Okay. Thank God I'm not on camera right now, because I think I get banned. I think I get banned from Twitch. It'll clean your table. No, it was my like shelf where I have like deodorant and stuff. Okay, let me flex the leg and wrap it around the widest part. Okay, so it's like 24 inches. You're streaming half naked or like panties. No, I pulled down. Wait, no, I gotta keep immersion. I hiked up my Lena. I hiked up my Lena and measured. Anyway, so yeah, I remember. I remember one time I was watching a streamer and the topic of thighs came up as well, and they were like, "Oh, mine are so big. I measured them. They're like 17 inches around," and I was like, "Yeah." So I was like, "Oh, I see." But I think they were like like they were skinny, so maybe it was quite big on their body. You're giving the artist something to think about. I've done this before. Haru was telling the truth when I just did that one day on like completely unprompted from chat. I think I was weird that day. I don't know what was happening. I think what happened was I didn't have too many people in chat. I think there was maybe Haru and a couple of others, and I was just like talking. I just started random rambling, and then I got into conversation. I got into a conversation with myself about like leg size, and I was like, wait, let me go measure. Bro was bored and just measured. My calves are fucking ripped and huge. I hate it. You should be happy, legend. People like calflets cry about not having like the barest hint of a calf muscle. The topic went to your legs. I think so. I don't know how I got there. He wasn't even there. He mentioned it after. I think that's what. I think there was like 3 people on stream, and like they probably weren't even chatting. So I was just rambling, probably talking about the gym and like squatting. I assume was what happened. The grass is not greener on the side, Rua. I can't wear boots comfortably. Oh, you must have. Wait, to not be able to wear boots, your calves must have really low insertions. Then, girl, measure your biceps. But I put the fucking thing over there. I have to go get the measurement. Get it? Why are you shouting at me? I don't even know how big my legs are. Hang on, let me. Fuck. This is always awkward because it's you have to watch him knock. No, I threw it. I threw it close to me at least. Okay, let me. God, fuck! How do you do this again? Wait, no. If I do it the other way, I can like I can like use my nose. I'll use my nose to hold it down on one end. Pull it around. 16. Wait, 16 inches. Then the widest part, I think it is, yeah. Which isn't too bad. Let me do the other arm to make sure that it's about right. Because I know one of my arms has a slightly higher peak than the other, because the insertion on one side is slightly closer than the other, which means that the overall muscle peak is higher. Let me. I don't know, it's so hard to do this. Yeah, just yeah, about yeah, 16 inches. Maybe a tiny bit over on one and a tiny bit under on the other. 18 and a half at the widest, 14 and a half at the ankle. I have to wear low cut. What? That's insane. That's huge. Holy fuck. Like the thing is I think the fact is it the right arm? Um Yeah, let me look in the mirror real quick. No, it's the left arm that has the higher peak. So what it is it's the insertion point in the arm, for the muscle. So what I mean by that is where the muscle connects. So if you raise your arm, if you like put your arm into a 90-degree angle, like raise your hand up, there's a space between where your bicep ends and kind of then the rest of your forearm to your forearm. On one arm, it's a teensy bit closer to the forearm than on the other. So the overall muscle mass is probably the same, but one's a bit taller. It's not noticeable, unless you're really looking for it. Get yourself some custom boots. Yeah, that is mad, legend. Those are huge. I was joking. No. I know. Don't worry. I noticed it. Yeah, but that's because you're a freak, Haru. But also you like looked at anatomy for drawing and stuff. So like that's important to pick out things like that. I mean, that's the type of stuff that they really focus on in bodybuilding, for example. They look a lot at like a big thing about bodybuilding is not just like having loads of muscle, but also having, well, back when say Arnold and them were doing it, when it wasn't just stacking mass upon mass, and it was more about symmetry, lots of muscle mass, but also symmetry between the body. Like little things like that could potentially ruin a physique. Not ruin it, but like it might take away a little bit of the symmetry. Girl, joke's on you. What anatomy? I gave up bust down anatomy. you just make up whatever's happening downstairs to whatever suits your desire. I'm going with the flow. That's good. That's good. I know someone like Toede, for example, the Goblin artist. He is like obsessed with anatomy. He's really good at anatomy. He said he gives his women very large badonkas. Let's just say. I think he is a man of that type of taste. Thank you, Mayume, for the head pat. Lots of references. I think. Thank you very much for the first time in chat, Faye Dragonfly. Well, hi there, hottie Irish voicey person. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. I give men lots of badonkas. It's important that the man have the same cup size as his GF. Give big yes anatomy. Yes. She has a very strong. Her back is really strong for a particular reason, so she can hold up. She can hold it up. She doesn't crumple under the weight of the things. This is a very lewd. What the fuck? This is a very lewd Ruadh stream. You guys got me measuring body parts. But like, a badonk is an important part of a man. The art of the couple I sent in DC. Oh wait, that's what it was, Haru. I think that's why that was in my mind. I think you sent. I call them booby couple. I stole your joke, I think. They both have big boobs. I have an okay chest. My chest always kind of lagged behind. It took me ages to get up to like a good strong bench. Like strong where I was happy with it. I have a bit of size there, but not like massive. I can cast shadow over you if you're shorter than me. You know, not not that big. Oh, did I hear? Did you hear how that One Piece artist draws the female characters? One small circle, one large circle, and an X. No, that's kind of based. I'm picturing it. Yeah, no, that's kind of based. Not a joke, actually. How he said it. It's probably like when you're like a manga artist and stuff, and you're drawing loads of characters all the time. It's probably important that you have like a really simple way of like getting a character, like a basic shape down, and then you shape them from that. You have the best chest that holds your healthy heart that does ASMR. Thank you, Mayumi. That's very sweet of you. I've been slacking over the winter. I need to get lifting again now that you've gotten better hours at work. I've been the same. I've been so busy. 2 circles for the donkeys. I mean, like that's kind of like shape language, though, isn't it? What did I say about men as again? Men get 4 circles. But no, a man's meant to be an inverted triangle, don't you know? Well, the muscular man. They're meant to be a big triangle upside down, a big Dorito. Exactly, legend. Exactly, a big Dorito. I had Doritos today. Actually, they were very tasty. I had the red Doritos. I hadn't had them in a while, and they were nice. They were very nice. I forgot how nice they were, but I think that might be a case of like not having them in a little bit. You want Doritos? Would you go for the red Doritos too? The spicy ones. Thank you, Sochi, for the head pat. Thank you, chili heat wave. Exactly. I was gonna ask your favorite flavor, and then I hear the red one, so I give up. Small waist for me, so that other men can grab it. I love, Aru, I love that you want men to have a small waist so that other men can have it, can grab it. No wonder you put Rua in a corset. No wonder you put me in a corset in that maid outfit. Small waists are loved in bodybuilding too, because a small waist accentuates the shoulders. It accentuates the wideness of the body and makes them look bigger. Blood corset, need to redo that. Oh yeah, I remember the blood corset playing half sword. The first like beta play or beta no. What am I looking for? The demo. Yeah, the demo of when it was just pandemonium. I don't think they have the blood guts anymore. They did add like more blood though. They added like better ways of cutting up an opponent, which is nice. I need to get the actual game itself. I haven't played it in a long time. Sad we needed another blood corset. It was quite nice looking, wasn't it? It was quite nice. I do remember the art. I remember really liking it. And then I was playing with the entrails. I remember that one. I was like using it like a whip. That was that really showed me as a sick individual on that stream. If I have power over someone, that's what I'll do apparently. And then I started like asking for a timeout the moment they started getting the better of me, and they were like hitting me in the head. Blood corset. So sorry, me. This is actually a very old callback to one of my first half sword streams, where it was back during the demo, where the blood was very gratuitous, and for whatever reason, my character, the way the blood splattered on him, it looked like he was wearing a corset, but it was all red. It was very cool. I'll try and find. I definitely have the art somewhere in my folder. Oh wait, no, I could probably show it on stream. Avoid Ua at all costs when he got the blood corset. That's the dangerous Ua, yeah. No, that's Rua Tipsy. Where do I have my art again? Not my art, but your guys' art. Of me. So it's technically my art. Actually, you know what? Yeah, from now on, all art that's made by you guys, I'm putting out a contract. You guys, it's not a one that you sign. It just is the fact. All art that is made of me belongs to me. Um, thank you for the follow, Fey Dragonfly. No more, no more, and I will have all rights. I will have all rights to it, and you will have no commercial rights. Disney has contract. Sadistic, yummy cage me. That doesn't seem like a bad contract. But yeah, it's good for me, not for the artists. I'm putting a big fat Haru on your thighs and chest. Just a tattoo of Haru. Just the name Haru. That's really funny. Where was it? It's here. So yeah, this is back when Rua was not even. I think he was colorful, but like he was like sketchy on your big ass forehead too. Why you gotta talk about my forehead? Why you gotta go there? Oh yeah, I remember. There was one guy. Who I got like a wooden paddle, and I just kept hitting him in the ass with it. And I remember he rolled over. He rolled over at one time at one stage, and I kept saying that's a paddling. I was like I was like screaming in pain. That's a paddling. I hit him, trying to stop me from paddling you. That's a paddling. Trying to crawl away from me. That's a paddling. You're such a little shit. That's what I do. That's what I do with power. What about this art? I think I have a few of the other ones. I why'd you make it shiny? Haru, you made it shiny. You made it tiny, shiny. You gave me a target. And this was this was me playing with entrails in the game. Because I like some poor guy lost his belly opened up. Totally just it just happened. That just happens sometimes. And I just started using it like a whip. I was having fun. I was being silly. I might have some of those clips saved somewhere. I might send them into the Discord so you guys can see. You guys can see. Oh yeah, I forgot about when you drew me as a bunny. Another maid outfit. Your birthday. Happy birthday, Grandpa. Old, and you're like smearing cake across my face. Oh, you so mean to me. You sound like a madman right now. I'm talking about in Minecraft, in Half Sword. It doesn't count. I'm honestly scared to see the clip. It's fine. It's fine. It's not like anything, because you're old. No. Although, my hand has been a little sore recently. I hope it's not arthritis. No, I think it's... I think I just twisted it a little. In the gym. So it's just a little sore on one side. I hope it's not like an ulnar tear. That wouldn't be good. I think that's what you'd call it. Yeah, I think ulnar is on the outside. I almost spelled something else there. Oh, you did. You did almost spell something else. Oh, did you guys hear? Did you guys hear? This is probably the last thing we talk about before I get into the reading. Because I do want to try and like actually get something done on the book. We can get like the first introduction done. But the introduction, there's not a second introduction. The introduction to the introduction. That's technically like a foreword. But Fua's got a job now. He had his like first proper full day today. He said he was very tired, but apparently everyone's very sweet. Everyone's very nice there, and he's kind of just learning the ropes right now. So I do hope he a job. Yes, a job. I can't like do a high pitched noise. I don't have Ace's like sensor button to hand. But yeah, I'm gonna have to message him later and be like, "How's it going? Are you okay? Do you want to retire yet? Have you built up enough to retire yet? Because it's gonna be like this for a while, buddy. It's a traumatizing word. Okay, you gotta get a job. Imagine me holding out like a job application, like shoving it in your face. You have to send out 500 of these a day through to automated AI driven HR, and then like get lucky that they don't just automatically reject you. Jobs are awful. Not a fan. I'm not happy that I have to have a job either, but have to do it. Unfortunately, I'm forever unemployed. Trust. Well, that's good. As long you know what, forever neat, not a bad way. Just a couple of decades ago. Yeah, you know what, Haru, all you gotta do, Haru, Haru, all you gotta do is suit up, suit and boot, get suited and booted, walk into wherever you want to work, walk right up to the manager, give him a firm handshake, and tell him you want to start that day. That's all you gotta do. You'll get a job like that. HR is the most cursed combinations of letter for you. Just sleep with your boss, easy money. Oh, that's true. That's but my main boss is like a wrinkly old man. I'd rather not. This ain't the 50s, pal. What are you talking about? Back in my day, Mike, you just walk in there, you just ask for a job, you get a job like that. You kids, you know what you kids don't have? You don't have perseverance. You don't have persistence. You're scared of work. You don't have any work ethic. See, back in my day, you worked for a living. Not like you fancy dancy kids with your OnlyFans and your VGens. ASMR, by the way. This is ASMR. Oh no, my microphone. I knocked it. Sorry, I had to sit the microphone and fix it again. Just because the wrapper is wrinkled doesn't mean the candy isn't sweet. No, I knocked it down. I banged the table, trying to get a job, but you apparently aren't motivated enough. ASMR. Hello, Davis. Welcome in. Welcome in. If you're here for ASMR, you've arrived at a decent time because I'm about to start our reading. I lucked out with my job, hated the one I was in, and kind of ended up with a good one. That's good to hear. I'm in a job that can get quite busy, but everyone that I work with are very sound, so that's okay. Can I post a link to the paddling video on your channel? Do. Yeah, go right ahead. Go hydrate before you read. That's a good idea. Do I have water in my bottle? Let me go check. Oh, my legs. They're sore. You guys go enjoy the paddling video, and I'll go get some water. Are you sticking your finger in my ear? Ew, now your finger's covered in earwax. Actually, wait, are my ears quite... No, there's like... that's actually not much earwax. That's like a little bit. That's okay. They're not too... well, maybe you cleared it all out. You don't clean your ear? I love... I do from time to time, like, I literally just get some lukewarm water and just put it in my ear, and then I just sit there for a while. And then I turn over. But God, I fucking love, cotton swabs in the ear. Oh, but you're gonna get impacted earwax. You're gonna push. I don't care. It feels really good. Just don't be an idiot. Just don't be an idiot and put it too deep. Just put your fingers like a little bit in before the thingy, and just twist it. Try a bonton in your ear. Combusting. Ooh, that sounds good. Oh wait, hang on. I have to turn off the BRB. There we go. I have some water because I actually I became since you told me to hydrate, I became less hydrated because I also took a pee. There we go. Did you wash your hands? Yes, I washed my hands. Of course I did. Good advice. Don't go too deep or it'll hurt. No, you can absolutely fuck up your ear. I always fear, like, did you use soap? Yes, I used soap. Fucking, why you gotta ask me these questions, huh? Do you guys not trust me to be hygienic? What if I want it deep? Well, you're gonna have a burst eardrum, Haru. No, not saying it. No, not saying it. No, you're a man. That's so mean. That's so mean, but also kind of true, though. That's a little bit true. Really? You sure it was soap and not the spiritual slime from the snails you killed? The snails make pretty good soap from time to time. We're looking out for you, Western. We're looking out for you, Western barbarian. Thank you for translating Gaijin for me, Mike. I wouldn't have understand. Mikey's Eastern. Eastern what? Eastern American? I'm not. We're in terms of Europe. We're not east of anything. Yeah, east is that side. I'm from Rhin. Rhin? East from America, west from everything else. We're really, we're the Japan. We're the Japan of Europe. We're the land of the setting sun, yeah. That's probably not true at all. Although I think there is some, just like with like most things, there's like some overlap. I'm loving the recent Twitter discourse about like copyright and stuff that's going on. It's so interesting watching a real like full scale cultural clash between so many different people. Like it's not like, oh, I had a cultural clash as a tourist. It's like, oh no, it's like full scale, like everyone's getting involved in it. Nobody likes to be randomly mooned. That's true. That's true. Okay, I guess that's false for Haru. But Haru's a sick freak, so we know that already. But I do apologize to those of you who've been enjoying the chatting section of the stream. Don't worry, it's okay. I'll understand if the viewership drops to like 2 people. We're going to do a little bit of reading though, because I want to get through the introduction. Well, we all know Haru's a little special. No, a whole lot. Exactly, Haru. A whole lot of special. The specialist. She's a specialist. Oh, Ruadh. Yes, Mayume. I have a mission for you. Go on. I really should use these more. I do. I use them from time to time, but not as much as I should. Go on. What is your mission? Look up candy cotton burrito or cotton candy burrito. Burrito. No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know cotton candy burrito near me, please. That's fucking revolting. Like, that's actually revolting. Oh god. You will need 2 tablespoons of funfetti sprinkles, optional toppings, mini marshmallows, gummy candies, or chocolate chips. That's rotten. Hot single cotton candy burritos in your area. It's actually kind of nice though, Haru. Haru, no. Don't. You have extreme sweet too. Like, I like sweet things. I like salty things too. But I don't think I'd have it. I don't think I'd have enough to eat the fucking Willy Wonka burrito. I'm not having that one. Diabetes is in your blood. It's my mission to activate it. Alongside like a pound of cotton candy for the actual roll and scoops of ice cream for the main. That would actually. I would actually, if I saw a parent buying a child I would consider calling Child Protective Services. I'd be like, they just fed their child poison. Please come save them. Anyway, thank you for that mission. I didn't enjoy it. It was the least fun mission I've ever done in my life, and I had to do 5 lost missions in XCOM 2 in a row once. They seem to be as large as around as a forearm. They're sold in New York. Ew. Ew. Like, at least if they were kind of like small, like they're like a little treat. But no, Americans have to go big with everything and give you diabetes in a burrito. Anyway, we're gonna get back to our reading of Brian Boru and the Battle of Clontarf. When last we left off, we listened a lot to the various areas of. We kind of finished or looked into at the time of Brian Boru's ascension, or at least his beginning to come onto the political world. All the different families and main branches and dynasties of Ulster, Munster, or Mumu, as it was called, Connacht, of Lagan, of Meath, the Unail Noigelucht, which Noigelucht. I think it might be Noigelucht. Kingdom of Mumu, my beloved. I love the Kingdom of Mumu. Best kingdom, but also best starter kingdom for CK2 to like learn the ropes in the game. I think in CK3 they officially made tutorial. They officially made Ireland like tutorial island, which was kind of based. Now waiting for the EU5 Kingdom of Mumu stream. I've actually never played EU5. I never played any of the EU games. I hope that doesn't make you think less of me. I tried Vicky 3 once. And I tried Hoi 4 for like a playthrough. I no. I don't think Hoi 4 is like. I think it's gotten more complicated, but even at the time I was playing it, I don't think it was like a super complicated game. I just didn't have time to go learning all the mechanics. E3 can suck your balls. Time to zone out listening to you. Anyway, let me sit back and do a little bit of reading. The High Kingship. What those great and ever more inflammatory wars testify to its political ambition, and it was an ambition to hold power throughout Ireland. The Unail started it. Of one of their energetic early kings, Diarmid mac Caerwale, Adamnan of Iona had stated, writing as far back as the year 700 or thereabouts. Oh wait, let me pick up my book. There we go. That God had ordained him as ruler of all Ireland, totius Scotiae regnatorum, while his son Ide Slain, who died in 604, had the prerogative predestined by God, the monarchy of the kingdom of all Ireland, adeo totius uraniae regni pareo gatium monarchiae predestinatum. That was a longer sentence than I expected. Needless to say, the Unail had no such predestined right, but they were more than happy to claim it. They claimed it through the possession of their kingship of Tara. Because they were kings of Tara, it was said, they had rights throughout all of Ireland. Thus, Mirchu, the biographer of St. Patrick, as earlier noted, says of one of the founding fathers of the Unail, the pagan king, Logere, son of Niall Noigaloch, that he was emperor of the barbarians living in Tara, which was the capital of the Irish, Imperator Barbarorum regnans in Temoria, que erat caput Scotorum. So powerful rhetoric was flying around. Ireland was a kingdom, a regnum. Indeed, it was a monarchy, a monarchia, and it had a capital, caput. That was the theory. The problem was putting it into practice. We have seen by the beginning of the Viking Age, the Unail had evolved a system whereby real power, to all extent and purposes, was confined to the Caneal Noan of the north and Clan Colmain of the southern Unail. Both kept a tight grip of the reins of power, so that usually the succession followed in a straightforward way from father to son, and the overkingship, the kingdom of Tara, rotated predictably between north and south. They did this in ever closer cooperation with the great monastic churches, especially Armagh for northern Unail and Clan MacNoid for the southern, which chronicled their glories and propagandized their continuing ascent. That concentration of political control and the amassing of the economic might that followed it enabled the Unail to dominate the northern half of Ireland and intermittently secure borama, or cattle subordination, or cattle tribute, from the Leinstermen in acknowledgement of the latter's subordination to them. As we have seen, the lengths to which they went in trying to secure Munster's submission. It was Mael Shocknail I, who died in 862, who first succeeded in this great goal, startling his contemporaries when he secured hostages of Munster in 854, 56, and 58, leading the men of Ireland into battle, and even alienating Os Raig from Leith Moga to Leith Cuin, being the Leith Cuin being the denomination for Northern Ireland. Sorry, not Northern Ireland, but the northern half of Ireland, and Leith Moga being the bottom half of Ireland. And it is not surprising that the High Cross at Kinnitty, County Offaly, bears oh my god, hello raiders, hello flower raid, hello who is, oh god, who is the Zue, I tried. Hello Hua, welcome in, how are you flower raid, hello rising Ziv. How are you guys? It's nice to see all of you. You are the first that reads on stream too. I used to read on stream when I first started out, when I had like very little viewers, because it was easy content, because I didn't have to talk, I didn't have to come up with stuff myself. It's like easy content, but it's also very comfy, it's very relaxing. But I hope your stream went well. What were you doing? What were you up to? Were you reading too? Or if you were, what were you reading? If you weren't, what are you reading right now? Your design is so nice. Thank you. Thank you very much. My mama did an amazing job. Gigi, my messages are banned, shadow banned on your channel. I was reading and singing. Oh my god, reading and singing. That's I try and do like reading ASMR, but then I get distracted talking too loud. Danme mutas. She was reading BL. Were you reading BL? You were? The stories are really good. No, listen, I understand. I understand. I've read a few too. I have read it was a good read. Ooh, that's good to hear. Oh wait, hang on. Wait, let me shout you out. There we go. Oh, I shout you out. I misspelled that. There we go. We're almost at the best part of the book. Ooh, good to hear. I just frog blinked. God damn it, I saw it. I saw it because I blinked one eye and didn't blink the other. God damn it. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that it picks it up so well on my model. Um, I read a book called Toxic or Toxin. I think it was Toxin. Sorry, BL. That's another one of those fucking BLs where the let's say the top needs to die by the end. He needs to die. He needs to be killed, but they won't kill him. But the author won't. The author won't do it. They make him terrible, but oh no, he secretly loves the uke too much to he learns his no, he was a terrible individual. He needs to die. There's another one, by the way. Another one, literally like, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck? No, he needs to die. This guy is a warlord, a terrible person. He needs to die. Great dick, he needs to die. Hello, Phoenix. It's nice to see you. You haven't read the good ones, then. I need you to read Jinx Girl so we can crash out. I crashed out on Fua and Q about another one. Which I not Jinx. What's Jinx about? That's really interesting because one of the stories that I read is actually about redemption. But like he doesn't redeem himself. He's still like mostly terrible. But he's like, oh, but he has a soft spot for the Uke's rate for her or for him, sorry. Not her. Very pretty though. Hello, once again forgot to copy the raid message, but hello Akira Cat though. Nice to see you. Thank you very much for joining us in the raid. Because he was kind of irredeemable, and it's great for the baits. I should send Ruadh the one I was reading. Do, Mike, do. He actually redeems himself in my book. I see. See, my issue is that it seems to stem from this idea that as long as the Seme like loves the Uke enough, it's okay that they're terrible. No. I want to. There was another one I read, which was similar, which had me similar ideas or similar concept, where they forgive them. The Uke forgives them and gives them another chance. No, I want to read that they were in hospital by the end of it. I want to read that the semi walks out and immediately gets hit by the nearest truck. Like, oh no, shock ending. And that's the end of it. Like, oh shit, well, you don't get to redeem yourself, buddy. Too bad. You don't get a second chance. Girl read 10 years that I love the most. You're reading the toxic ones. I think I did by accident. I somehow, like, to be fair, one's called Toxin, but it had really good art. It's a manhwa. Toxin's a manhwa, but it has such genuinely beautiful art. It's not like normal manhwa where it all looks like they're the same character across like 500 different manhwas. Which there's still nice art, but a lot of the time when I'm looking at manhwas, it can be a very similar art style. It's the same with anime. But I think manhwas seem to have a very standard style. While with anime, manga, it can at times be a little more varied. But honestly, this one, oh my god, the art was beautiful. You love the dark toxic ones. I know there's people that enjoy it. I think for me, I was fueled by genuine love of the story, and also a desire that I had to see this guy get his comeuppance. You love the Guildverse man was? I don't know much about the verses. Awu. Um, but all I know is Fua is very knowledgeable about all the verses. So I will ask him what a guild verse is. We need you reading one live with live reaction, bro. That would be funny. Maybe we should do that on stream someday. That would actually be really funny. Nice to talk to you. I need to sleep. Wait. You know Fua? Of course I know Fua. Fua Hanakishi? What if this is a different Fua completely? His BF. What? Don't stop spreading rumors. I think I might know your name. Fua is his boyfriend. Stop lying. You're just lying. I met up with him recently. Oh my god, Fua went outside? Amazing. Amazing. I'm shocked. Well, now he has to go to work. Now he has work to have to go to, so he has to go out. So you were his BN? No, they're lying. Stop. He walked outside. Don't like try and confirm this. They're lying. Mike is lying. He's spreading lies. Oh my god. I'm going back to reading my book. You're just lying. Thank you, Legend, for the head pat. Everything you say about him is the contrary. Can a man not have friends? Is this really what we've gotten to? First time here and you're learning so much. You're learning falsehoods, untruths. You're learning just like the tribunal of Morrowind, the false words of the false gods will not stand on my stream. Is a man not entitled to friends on the internet? It's not like I like him like that or anything. Is that how you honor the sixth boyfriend? It's like that guy, what's his name? Sekuno or whatever his name, who's like in a lot of drama right now. It's like, is this how you honor the sixth girlfriend? And the Google Docky on Mort. My hopes for a normal reading stream have been dashed. They weren't his girlfriends, so he didn't cheat on her, but the girlfriend. He will forever be on guard against e-boys now. Oh, you will forever be on guard against e-boys. You should, yeah. Be on guard against me, Mike. Don't. If ever I message you, just instantly like block me and start writing a Google Docky. Never trust the man. I don't know. I didn't know a raid would trigger this. This is what happens when I start getting giddy and I start getting distracted. This is why they always try and distract me during my reading streams. They don't let me read. I feel bad for I remember what happens to me too. It's very easy to get distracted by chat, but it's okay. Thank you very much for the raid. It was very sweet of you. If you do need to get to sleep though, you do need to take a nice rest. A good eep. Wait, hang on. Let me make sure. Oh no, I did follow. Good. We distract Hua all the time. Wait a minute. What the fuck is with like Rua? Hua. Fua. Kaz Spelua. I don't think that's right. I don't think Kaz Spelua is his name. Ua. It's all Ua. It's always been Ua. All five of us are patient enough for book reading. Ua Shishua. Ua Shishua. Dude, don't be like Fua, please. The worst thing is, like, I'm not, like, unlike Fua, I'm not like Asian, so I feel like you could write a Google Doc. You could You could get VTuber points right now. Social points. You could get my ass. You can just clip this. Like, show me of Rua made fun of my name. Ban him. Get him. And I get torn asunder. You're working on the Google Doc right now. If you do post it, can you at least I said this before on another stream. Can you at least make sure that you like call me like some cool things in the call out post? Like, Rua is a master manipulator who's really charismatic and savvy and so please, I need if I'm going to at least get cancelled, at least be nice about it. At least like bump up my ego. You're raising. It's so over. Call Malone Alpha Switch. Giga Chat raisin. Yes, please. When you're like posting a photo of my model, just post like the Giga Chat. And I'll admit to it. I'll be like, yeah, I did all those things. I'll just edit it based. Is this supposed to be a call out or a marketing? There's no such thing as bad publicity. Unless you're Mini Lad, then I think that one was probably bad publicity. Post the pregnant photo. Don't tell them about the pregnant photo in the Discord arrow. I wanted to read, man. Oh wait, I meant to, because you commented on my model, and my mama and papa did do an amazing job. I will quickly do that. My mama Inca, and my papa Marbu. They're both amazing. There's a pregnant Ua. There is. Haru recently drew a pregnant version of me. It's very pretty, I will say. It's very pretty. Ignore the belly full of soup. From like the chest up, it's very pretty. Just ignore the belly full of soup. Anyway. It is currently 11:30. You clipped. So done. So over. It's so over. Rua's stream has fallen. Wait, goddamn, why don't I have one of these just like on standby? Me right now. This is the most this is the most fucking low effort bit I've ever done in my life. Prepare for the cool nickname. Thanks. Can you call me like the Red Bat? No, that's like Germany. That's like World War One Germany. Let's not do that one. The Red, not harlot. That's a completely different thing. What? The Red. Mike, come up with a good nickname for me. Anyway, Belly is good though. But you are though. No, I'm not. I'm a good boy. Red Barbarian. There you go. There you go. That makes me sound cool, but also makes me sound like... Oh, my microphone. No. There we go. Red Maid. Oh, yeah. Red Maid. There you go. You're for the cobblestones? Don't be mean to me. Hang on. I really need to get a new microphone stand. It's currently being held in by a piece of cloth. And it's not doing a very good job of that. Anyway. Who have a lovely sleep. I will stop keeping you up. You German? No German. No German. Irish. Microphone fundraiser stand. A microphone stand fundraiser. Because you mentioned Germany. Oh, because I went to say the Red Baron, but the Red Baron was a famous World War One. If you didn't know, a famous World War One ace fighter pilot. In his distinctive red plane. You lived in Ireland last year. Oh, that's very cool. I hope you had a lovely time. I hope have you got to see like some of the countryside and some of like the cool historical stuff? You had a horrible time, Onion. Did you stay in Dublin? Did you stay in Dublin? That tracks. If you stayed in Dublin, but it was still pretty. Oh no, it wasn't Dublin. I'm surprised then. Oh my god, the Gigi Rua meetup. I see, I see. I'm sad if you had a horrible time though. But hopefully the next visit will be a little bit better. It's a little bit of a tricky time because housing and stuff. And Fua and I are both German Asians. It's weird that I know two of you. No way, I messed up the joke. The prices, yeah, there's a reason we're called Rip Off Ireland. It's not a joke. Like Ireland is bullshit. I know the joke. If I had yeah, there we go. If I had a what's a wait no, Germany uses the euro. I was like, what's the I was thinking to myself, what's the German version of a nickel? I was like, no, they use the euro too. Ireland is so expensive. And it's not like the jobs pay well either. It's not like America where like everything's really expensive. But like if I had a pfennig if I had a pfennig and but like you get paid like 100,000. No, like it's ugh. I pay double the prices sometimes. It's no joke. It's no joke. You can people near the border of Ireland and the Republic in Northern Ireland often people from from the Republic will often travel into Northern Ireland to do their shopping because it's cheaper. It works out as being cheaper. So unfair, so actually unfair. I've done about a page. I'm gonna go back to reading to try and get some bit done. That's what Singaporeans do to us. Mike, well, I can't bond over that because I don't do that. Have fun reading. I'm sleeping. Have a good sleep, Hua. And thank you again so much for the raid. Where were we after that discursion into a completely other topic? Gigi. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Is that going in the Google Doc then? Is it Gigi? ZZ? No. Shishi? Hey, wait, I got it beforehand. I got it before you posted. Shishi. My experience with Gigi. I got it before I posted, so I'm counting that as a win, and I didn't get corrected. It's going on the first line. Where were we? I don't want to be part of drama. It reminds me of the time I accidentally... Oh, hello. Hello, Axonor VT. What are the rules for this chat? Be me. I think I should have rules set up. But be nice. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Rua. Rua ua quilta. As Mike just did. Rua ua quilta. But rules for chat will just generally be nice. Don't be unnecessarily mean. What I mean by that is we all have fun, me and teasing, but don't go too far. Don't be disruptive. Don't spam chat with stuff. Yeah, that type of stuff. Just common chat courtesy. Languages there are so interesting. Oh, Irish. I'm not great at Irish, but I did do a. It should be a little lore video. Where I narrate my lore in Irish. That was for during my 2D debut, 2D live debut. You love lore. I suppose I never introduced myself. Hello, everyone who came from the raid and who is new. My name is Rua Uaquilta. I am a half human, half Tuatha, that being the god people of Ireland who lived in Ireland, as described in the Laura Gabala Éireann, as the fourth people who invaded, before the Milesians arrived, the Gaels, and drove them to the other world, often depicted as underneath the ground of Ireland. Or at least that's where one will often find the portals there. Hmm. Hmm. But we're actually reading about Ireland right now. We're reading about Brian Boru. The Do you do gaming or just ASMR? I do ASMR, gaming, sometimes just chatting. Um, yeah, yeah. So different stuff, and sometimes I'll just do like quizzes or some other stuff. Thank you so much for the follow, Axo. Now, where were we? Let me see if I can. Can I finish off this part? The introduction to the book, which is like 60 pages. Where were we? Wait, sorry. Power was confined to Cneal Noan of the north and Clon Colmain of the southern Unail. Both kept a tight grip on the reins of power, so that usually the succession followed in a straightforward way from father to son. The overkingship, the kingdom of Tara, rotated predictably between north and south. They did this in ever closer cooperation with the great monastic churches, especially Armagh for the northern Unail and Clonmacnoise for the southern Unail, which chronicled their glories and propagandized for their continuing ascent. Oh wait, I think I actually read past this. Yes, here we are. This is about Mael Shachnail the First. It is not surprising, then, that a high cross at Kinnitty, County Offaly, bears an inscription calling Mael Shachnail Rig Herin, or King of Ireland, or that the annals should call him Riherin Illa, King of all Ireland, at the time of his death. But these were partisan assertions rather than statements of undisputed fact, and other power centres sought to repudiate such claims and put forward claims of their own. Advocates of the King of Munster, in particular, has been argued, directly expressed the superiority of the kingship of Cashel over that of Tara. So while Mael Shachnail was an extraordinary man, who came closer than any of his predecessors to instituting a high kingship of Ireland, it was a personal edifice that had been constructed from the ground up by each of his successors, and by the middle of the 10th century this Unail paramountcy had begun to wobble. What had seemed inevitable, that they would intensify their lordship to the point that it went unchallenged in Ireland, failed to come about, and that failure had much to do with the complications of the Viking Age. The Viking onslaught. Irish churchmen have been extraordinarily active on the continent from the 7th century, beginning with Columbanus, one of the great figures of the early Middle Ages. Some of these Scoti vagantes, wandering Irish, were certainly what we might call missionaries, although later they were teachers, men like Sedulius Scotus, the grammarian, the classist and poet, and John Scotus Uragena, whose astonishing Greek scholarship made him an outstanding, or the outstanding, philosopher of the 9th century. I believe he was specifically outstanding in his knowledge of Platonism, or at least his version of Platonism. Why they left Ireland and how they went about securing positions for themselves is shrouded in mystery, but one possibility is suggested by the chronicle known as the Annals of St. Bertin, in which it was stated in the year 848 that the Irish, descending upon the Nordmanni, the Vikings, with the help of our Lord Jesus Christ, were victorious, and expelled them from their borders, and thus the King of the Irish sent ambassadors of peace and friendship with gifts to Charles the Bald, seeking right of passage to Rome. As Sedulius appears on the scene out of nowhere at this very point, it is quite possible that he was among the envoys sent by the King of Tara, Mael Shachnail I, or perhaps by Ulcabor, King of Munster, the southern forces having won 2 major victories over the Vikings in 848. To the court of Charlemagne's grandson. It is certainly a fact that the regular references in Sedulius's writings to the Nordmanni suggests that he was greatly in fear of them. Perhaps the disruptive effect of the Vikings on the schools of Ireland was a factor in his removal and that of countless other Irishmen to the continent in this period. The great De Sul, one of the most original thinkers of the age, was one such. We know nothing of his Irish background, but it is unlikely to be a coincidence that he arrived on the continent just as Viking incursions began on his homeland, after which he managed to join the the ranks of a remarkable band of scholars, many of them Anglo-Saxon and Irish, attached to Charlemagne's court. His greatest work, completed in 825, De Mensura Orbis Terrae on the measurement of the earth, so far as we can tell, was the first medieval geography. In it, de Sul informs his readers that Irish monks had travelled to Orkney, the Shetlands, and Iceland. He states that 30 years earlier, before the Viking discovery of Iceland, he spoke to Irish clerics who had stayed there from February to August, and told him it was so bright all night around midsummer that they could pick lice from their shirts. That's not a great that's not a great thing to get to do when it's nice and bright out. De Sul personally had been to the other North Atlantic islands. Near the island of Britain are many islands, quote, some large, some small, and some of medium size. Some of them are situated to the south and west, but the majority of them are to the north, west, and north. I have lived in some of them, and I have visited others, unquote, perhaps suggesting that he had been a monk in Iona. And he seems to have had the Faroe Islands in mind when he informs the world that for nearly 100 years hermits sailing from our country, Ireland, have lived there. But just as they, the Faroes, were always deserted from the beginning of the world, so now, because of the Northmen pirates, they are emptied of anchorites and filled with countless sheep. As de Sul is a reliable writer, there is presumably some basis to his observation. Hang on, let me check something real quick. There we go. Some basis to his observation. But even if it is entirely groundless, his words capture the essence of contemporary reality. The purported banishment of Irish hermits from the Faroes mirrors the thoroughly negative experience of churchmen elsewhere throughout much of northwestern Europe in the 9th century, when faced with the violence of Viking raiding. But their replacement by sheep reminds us that the Scandinavian expansion sometimes had much to do with farming and colonizing, as with raiding and warring. Hello, Draculabite. Welcome in, welcome in. How are you? Rualor? Well, of course. My name is Rua Uaquilta, half human, half Tuatha, that being the god people of Ireland who lived on Ireland before the Gael arrived and drove them to the other world, as described in the Laur Gabala Éireann. I'm also a bit of a warrior scholar, a member of the Fianna when they were kicking around back in the 2nd century or so. So yes, technically my character is like 1700 years old, or 1800. But I'm not old, no matter what Haru, one of the members of chat, might say. But it's nice to meet you. Dang, you look young. What? I was saying that I'm not old, Haru, even though you might claim, bitch, you're old. See how she bullies me. Grandpa, go get your meds. No meds. No meds. I won't let you drug me. Your avatar looks young. What the fuck you mean old? Exactly, see? Thank you. Nursey escaped again. You're never gonna catch me. No nurse can catch me. They put me in a room. A rubber room. A room filled with rats. And rats are cool. I like rats. Where were we? Oh, yeah. We do not know why the Viking Age began when it did. Scandinavians, of course, had never been cut off from the world, and there were traces of their activities further afield long before the large-scale raiding began. Their earliest ambitions seem to have been towards the east and south, into what is now Russia. This involved the importing into Scandinavia and the onward dispersals of large quantities of precious metal, especially silver from the Islamic world. The intensive trading of the furs and silks acquired in places like Finland and northern Russia, and the cornering of the market for luxury commodities such as amber and walrus ivory, and probably slaves, and their sale to Western European merchants. Certain Scandinavian rulers accumulated rent from the trade and gained power from their position of dominance over the peoples of the East, whom they exploited for such produce. Increased trade required more shipping, and increased wealth facilitated better shipping. The earliest Viking activity was essentially piracy, and the Baltic trading networks probably fell prey to pirates who were eventually tempted to venture out from the Baltic to the North Sea. No, my microphone is falling again. Why? Stop. There we go. I think we're okay. If you hear me go, God damn it, it's probably the case that it fell again. Where were we? Oh yeah, here. Here they were undoubtedly hitting coastal targets for some time before such raids began to be noticed by writers whose reports have come down to us, and for geographical reasons it seems reasonable to imagine that northern Britain and Ireland would have felt the brunt of raiders from what is now Norway, while Danish raiders would tend, for the most part, to concentrate their energies on southern England and the lands on each side of the English Channel. The first recorded raid took place in 793, when the monastery founded by Irish monks on the holy island of Lindisfarne in Northumbria was attacked. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle tells us that the ravages of heathen men miserably destroyed God's church in Holy Island, with plunder and slaughter. That this was something new and unexpected is suggested by the same source's observation that the attack was preceded by dreadful forewarnings over the land of the Northumbrians, terrifying the people most woefully. These were immense sheets of light rushing through the air, whirlwinds and fiery dragons flying across the firmament. The great English scholar Alcuin was similarly startled by the incident and wrote to the community of Lindisfarne shortly afterwards to commiserate, lamenting that, quote, the pagans have desecrated God's sanctuary, shed the bloods of saint around the altar, laid waste to the house of our hope, and trampled the bodies of the saints like dung in the street. I can only cry from my heart before Christ's altar, O Lord, spare thy people, and do not give the Gentiles thine inheritance, lest the heathen say, where is the God of the Christians? Excuse me, my voice is getting a little cut. Alcuin, outraged as he was by the desecration of this holy place, thought it must be some kind of divine retribution for the victim's sins, but he nevertheless offered to help. He was then attached to the court of Charlemagne at Aachen. That's not how you pronounce that. Aachen? No. And then he adds, when our Lord King Charles returned from defeating his enemies, by God's mercy I plan to go to him, and if I can then do anything for you about the boys who have been carried off by the pagans as prisoners, or about any other of your needs, I shall make every effort to see that it is done. This shows that the Vikings had begun as they meant to go on. They were already in the business of slavery. The raiders were back in England the following year and attacked another North Sea monastery, although this time they met stiffer resistance. And by now it seemed that the Irish world was aware of the new crisis. We can only imagine what horror underlies the deceptively matter-of-fact remark of the writer of the Annals of Ulster for 794 in noting, quote, devastation of all the islands of Britain by heathens. This speaks of something more than mere raids, rather than a pervasive offensive against the inhabitants of isolated maritime communities, and if the annalist had in mind islands off Scotland's western coast, it is possible that the raiders took possession of some of these Hebridean islands because they were venturing further south the following year. The Viking raids in Ireland are taken to have begun in 795, as in the year Rechru was burned by the heathens and its shrines broken and plundered. Rechru was the Irish name for both Rathlin Island off the Antrim coast and Lambay in the Irish Sea north of Dublin, and so the raids may have been on either. That it was the latter is suggested by the fact that a church on a nearby island, Inishpatrick, St. Patrick's Island, 10 kilometres to the north near Skerries, was also burned by the Vikings 3 years later, which may show that this part of the Irish Sea had become the object of their continuing attention. What is more, the same entry for 798 tells us that they, quote, took the cattle tribute of the territories, Borime na Crick the Brehe, and then that this group of Vikings made great depredations on both Ireland and Scotland, in Reda Maradoib, Kinne, either Erin, August Alban. Perhaps this was no more than casual rustling of the livestock belonging to the hapless inhabitants of the area, but it smacks of something more formal and subsistent, or substantial. It certainly suggests a more complicated engagement with their victims than we tend to think of in the very early stage of the Viking campaigns, and, at the very least, more varied activity than the proverbial smash and grab raiding of churches. If there were Vikings in what is now County Dublin in the late 8th century extracting tribute from its inhabitants, a tribute that was handed over in the form of cattle, which had to be managed by their new owners, even if it was only in preparation for their eventual slaughter, one would have to assume they had secured themselves a camp nearby, or might even be thinking of staying put. How well it fits in with the archaeological evidence that has eventually come to light from nearby Dublin, where the long-standing assumptions that a Viking presence came to be felt only in the 840s has been thrown into doubt. The skeletons of several Viking warriors found in South Great George's Chat Street in 2003 have been shown by radiocarbon dating to have a 95% probability of dating from between 670 and 880 AD, but with intercept dates which attempt to pinpoint the date of death ranging between 770 and 782, while another warrior excavated in 2002 in nearby Ship Street Great produced dates ranging between 665 and 865, with the intercept date of 790. Another Viking burial a little distance away at Golden Lane has dates ranging from 678 and 832, which would suggest an intercept date, though unfortunately we do not have one, similar to those early other burials. These were formal burials of young warriors who seemed to have met their death in conflict or who were buried beside their camp on the banks of the Poddle River, near where it joins. Thank you so much, Coastly Ghost, for the follow. Near where it joins the Liffey, and it seems they occupied this camp and lived and died in its vicinity in the very earliest days of the Viking Age. It is still undoubtedly true that it was Irish churches that were falling victim from the beginning to piratical crews of Scandinavians. Although the Vikings are not mentioned, presumably they were involved in the Oregon ravaging in 795 of Columcille's great monastery of Iona, and of Inishmurray off County Sligo, and Inishbofin off North Connemara, and they were specifically stated to have been responsible for burning Iona in 802 and again in 806, when 68 of its community were killed. We know that in 807 Vikings came round the west coast and again razed Inishmurray off Sligo and Roscommon at the inland end of Galway Bay. But what is clear is that the concentration of such acts of violence alone cannot capture the full dimensions of Viking Irish involvement, even at that early stage. Annals are written in churches and are concerned with the affairs of churches, and of course it was an outrage that these places of devotion and of local and regional prestige were subject to such unprovoked aggression. But there was much more going on than this. When the fleet came to an area around Skerries in 798 and so overawed the population of the adjacent districts of what is now North County Dublin, that they agreed to the payment of a consignment of beef, Borema na Crick, we are seeing war and diplomacy in operation. And when in 821 the Vikings plundered the Howth Peninsula and carried off into captivity a great number of women, they were, unless there was now a forgotten nunnery there, attacking a farming and fishing community rather than a monastery. The evidence points to Irish political leaders from the start trying to come to terms with their new enemies and struggling to ward off inroads into their people's territories. We can surely conclude from the cryptic mention in 811 of Strages Gentilium Upud Ultu, slaughter of the heathens by the Ulaid, that the latter, probably the people known as the Dal Fiatok in East County Down, were defending their kingdom rather than a church from Scandinavian aggressors. A measure of its significance is the fact that news of it, or similar success, probably brought by an Irish migrant scholar, reached the court of Charlemagne in Aachen, and it is recorded in its chronicle. Connemara takes its name from the Con MacNamara, or from Con MacNamara, and in 812 they were slaughtered by a Viking force that was presumably making incursions into West Galway. Just north of it, the Fir Umail occupied the area around Clew Bay, which also seems to have been the focus of Viking attentions, because in the same year, the inhabitants slaughtered some Vikings, but then had to do battle again with them in 813, and this time lost their king in the encounter. And in the latter year, the annals tells us that the king of the Onocht of Loch Lane, based as a name, based. I hate that. I hate that about the word based these days. Whenever I read the word based in a book, I sometimes just go based, like just based, not based wherever. I just think of the meme word for based. Anyway, the Onocht of Loch Lane, based. Don't be mean to me. I know it sounds like I'm saying based, 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 based. D. There you go. There's the D. Based, as the name suggests, around Loch Lane and the other lakes of Killarney, slaughtered the heathens in Munster. These are local kingdoms going to war to protect their territory. Assuming that these Vikings in West Munster were linked to those active off the Connacht coast that year, having travelled all the way down the western seaboard, it would cause one to wonder about the practicality of their doing so from their Scandinavian homelands. These look more like sustained offensive made possible because the aggressors, even at this early stage, were digging themselves into coastal camps around Ireland, such as that excavated off the banks of the Poddle in Dublin, which, as we have seen, housed the burials of Viking warriors apparently from around the 790s, or the possible Viking Age enclosures and burials that had been found beside a bend in the Ballyasdare River in Knox Park, County Sligo. The biography of St. Patrick, called A Tripartite Life, which may perhaps have been written about this time, says of the church of Killisbugbrone, that's a weird name, about 10 kilometres from Knox Park on the Strandhill Peninsula, that Patrick prophesied that gentilibus desecretor lucus ille, which duly came to pass. As the phrase implies, the Gentile Vikings caused the church to be desecrated. It may mean that they set up camp there. Sorry, excuse me. While it is assumed that these were Scandinavians occupying permanent bases in western Scotland or the Isles within a generation or so of the beginning of the Viking Age, one wonders where the heathens were based who in 824 arrived in Skellig Michael, far off in the Atlantic off the Kerry coast, and captured and killed the leader of its hermits, or those who plundered the church of Begurin and Darinish Colmain in Wexford Harbour in 821, or Cork the following year, or Inish Damel near Waterford in 825. Let me take a sip of water. There we go. Or Lismore in River Blackwater, which was attacked twice in 832 and 833, or so on and so forth. In 825 they were victorious in battle against the army of Osraig, the territory bounded by the River Nore and Barrow in County Kilkenny area. It seems reasonable to assume that the battle arose from Viking activity on these inland waterways, just as their overthrow of the Fortua Lagan in 827 points to a Viking presence in their land in the coastal areas around the later town of Wicklow. Further south, in County Wexford, lies the monastery of Tamon, and the following year, 828, its communities joined forces with the local king of the Kenslaig in inflicting a heavy defeat on the Vikings. Glendalough was attacked in 834, and Ferns and Clonmore, County Clarelough, in 835. The concentration of Viking activity in the southeast in those years surely allows us to suppose that they had a foothold nearby. Indeed, when Clonmore was attacked again in 836, it was on Christmas Eve, and such midwinter raiding is surely the work of local Vikings. It is possible that they were based in the great Viking encampment that has recently been discovered by archaeologists in Woodstown in West Waterford Harbour. Another possibility is on an island in Wexford Harbour, especially given the fact that attacks there in 828, suggested by the mention in the tripartite life of Patrick, written about this time, that shrines from the Lesser Island there have been moved elsewhere since it was taken by the heathens. Oh, the people having moved elsewhere since it had been taken by the heathens. But proof of a Viking base in the vicinity comes to light only for the year 836. For the first time since the Vikings' campaigns began, the annals name the site of one of their camps when they tell us that in this year the great monastery of Kildare was plundered by heathens from Inverdi, which is probably Arklow. By this time there were undoubtedly other bases around the coast, and many more were soon to follow. The establishment of one such encampment in the Shannon estuary is surely the context for the great victory over Viking forces obtained in 836 by the Ufvidgente. That's not how you... I don't know how else you'd pronounce that, though. Vidgente? A dynasty that controlled much of County Limerick. One imagines the magnificent chalices and brooches found at Ardagh in the heart of the Ufvidgente territory being anxiously buried in circumstances such as this. The following year, the monastery of Mungret, just southwest of what would become the city of Limerick, found itself under assault by Vikings, along with other churches of West Munster, just as the enchanting monastic islands of Inishkeltra on Loch Derg to the north of Limerick was to do in 837. Evidently the foreigners were functioning out of a centre of operations in the vicinity. Quite how traumatic was demonstrated by the battle in 836 that resulted in the slaughter of the army of the Daish Tuathgurt. That was the dynasty of Brian Boru. The impact of the Vikings. In the early decades after their first descent on Ireland in the 790s, the Vikings had perpetrated raids on coastal cities, and while they are found looting the large churches in particular, we can guess that they were also trying to secure a foothold in remoter outposts with a view to winning land. But, to judge from their epigrammatic documentary evidence, it was only in 830 that Ireland, like England and the western territories of the Carolingian Empire, was exposed to extensive Scandinavian assault. They began by raiding Leinster and southern Unail territory in Brega, and they had fleets operating on the Boyne, the Liffey, the Shannon, the Erne and Loch Ness, where they overwintered in 840 to 841, and it was in 841 that they built a long fort or ship camp at Dublin, and another at Linn Duchall, Annagassan in County Louth, followed soon after by an encampment on Loch Ree, from which bases they were able to wreak devastation over a wide area. In 845 they captured the abbot of Armagh himself and brought him to the ships of the Shannon estuary, Abrith the Longav Lumnig, which may mean that they already had a base at or near Limerick. And now that certain Vikings were stationed permanently in Ireland, we see them immediately taking sides in Irish wars, and equally, now that they had land armies on regular campaigns throughout the country, they became vulnerable to Irish resistance. The late 840s therefore saw a succession of Irish victories, and a record of military triumph over the Viking foe was no doubt a feather in the cap of aspiring leaders. Thus the extraordinary king of Osraig, Kerbal Mac Dunlane, who became celebrated in saga as far away as Iceland, made quite a name for himself as an opponent of Viking activity in the Barry Valley. In the Barrow Valley, slaughtering 1,200 Dublin Vikings in 847. The following year, Mael Shocknail killed the 700 at the Battle of Skreen in County Meath. The combined forces of Munster and Leinster killed either 200 or other sources say 1,200 near Castle Dermot in County Kildare. The king of southern Brega killed another 1,200 somewhere in County Meath. The Onocht Cashel killed 500 in their own territory, and the King of Munster destroyed Dún Corkig, apparently a fort established by Vikings at Cork. It was a truly extraordinary year. Little wonder that, as we have seen, the Frankish Annals of St. Bertin record under the following year, in 848, a delegation arrived at the court of Charlemagne's grandson, Charles the Bold, bearing gifts from the Rex Scotorum, presumably Mael Shachnail, announcing the vanquishing of the heathens. Thank you, Kaleido Crow, for the head pat. Very sweet of you. Thank you, thank you. I see snails. Hi, hi. Yes, the snails are here. I have Fua. Me and Fua talked about setting time together where he would help me make the streamer bot where we can make it so that they will appear randomly on the stream, and then you can also like redeem them. So hopefully that will work. Although I do kind of like having them here. They're kind of just like on the rocks and trees. You happy to see Garfield as home? Well, I don't know if they'd consider here home, but they have a nice big tree and rock for themselves. I'm sure they're happy. But thank you. They're really cool in their natural habitat. Where were we? Announcing the vanquishing of heathens by the Irish and requesting free passage for pilgrimage to Rome by the same Irish king. Feed them, Brua? No, what? No, that's absolutely not. For one, Brua is not food. He is, but he's not food for them. And two, they're angels. They're angel snails. They don't need to feed. You're eating, Brua. I hope you choke on them. These victories would not have been possible unless the Vikings' initial military superiority was now in question. If their earlier advantage over the Irish was their naval capacity, or the quality of their weapons and armour, or their better tactical organisation, or their sheer force of number, or the disunity among the Irish, or even a combination of all these factors, something had happened to change that, and perhaps we can assume that by the late 840s, a full half-century after the Vikings' first appearance in the West, the Irish had begun to adapt, had captured or otherwise acquired some of the Vikings' sophisticated troop-carrying vessels, were fighting fire with better and more lethal weaponry, were beginning to professionalize their armies, and were opting to coalesce with former enemies in the face of this dreadful new menace. Gawk, anyway. Girl, do you prefer Kaleido or Crow? I'm really glad you like them, Yippee. They're really cool. They're really cute. I do love them. No doubt, too, the Irish began recruiting Viking warbands as mercenaries or political allies for use against their own Irish enemies or other Vikings. Indeed, at this point, the Irish became attuned to the potential of exploiting disunity among the invaders, the annals recording in 849 that 140 ships of the people of the King of the Foreigners, the Die Munter Regal, arrived to subdue the foreigners already there, and they disturbed Ireland between them. Some people say Kale too. I could see Kale, yeah. I do see that in there. I like Kaleido though. By 851, the two groups are distinguishable to the Irish. In Dublin and at Annagassan, they're Fingal and Fingenti. Foreigners or heathens who are Finn, white, bright or fair, and in that year their fortress was attacked by the newly arrived Dubgal, Dubgenti, dark or black foreigners. We tend to think of them as Norwegians and Danes at war with each other, although the distinction might mean nothing more than existing Ireland-focused Vikings versus a newly arrived British-based group, from York perhaps. But whatever the meanings of the terms, the antagonism between them was ferocious. In 852... That is cute, actually, for reacting to each other in chat. In 852, the Fingenti swooped in a flotilla of 160 ships on the Dubgenti naval camp in Carlingford Loch, and battled it out for 3 days and 3 nights before admitting defeat and abandoning their ships to them. A new Viking chieftain, Olarf, Olarf, no, Olar, Ol, Olafur the White, whom the Irish believed was the son of the King of Loch Lane, somewhere in the Scandinavian world, arrived in 853, so that the foreigners of Ireland all submitted to his rule, and the Irish even handed over tribute, Coro Gaelsat Gal Éireann do agus Kiss o God Haleb. I just can't call him snail art person in my head forever. But once he began to rule in Dublin, jointly perhaps with another Scandinavian called Ivar, who died in 873, sometimes equated with Ivar the Boneless, he behaved much as an Irish king would, allied with or opposed the neighbouring kings as political advantage dictated, attempting to build up a power base in the Dublin hinterland, rather than wreaking havoc in Viking style. Okay, we only have a few pages left of the introduction. Despite this, and perhaps it partly explains why their Irish conquest ran out of steam, these Irish-based Vikings seemed to have remained active overseas. For some who desired uncontested land for settlement, the discovery of Iceland was soon to offer a new prospect. Others looked to Ireland's nearest neighbour. In 856, Horm, or Gorm, chief of the Dubgenti, was killed by the Welsh king Rodri Mar of Gwynedd, and years later, in 877, the latter was forced to seek refuge in Ireland from the Dubgenti, who were presumably attempting to conquer territory in Anglesey in northwest of Rodri's kingdom. Long ass introduction. It's like 57, 58 pages. In 866, Olaf and another Viking leader, Ulsle, together with the foreigners of Ireland and Scotland, plundered Fort Triu, the land of the Picts in northeastern Scotland, exacting tribute and taking hostages. In 870, they captured the great fortress of Dumbarton on the outer Clyde, and the following year, Olaf and Ivar returned to Dublin with 200 shiploads of captive Angles and Britons and Picts. The evidence is only sporadic thereafter, but in 918, for instance, there was a major battle on the banks of the Tyne between the leaders of the recently established Waterford Vikings and an army of Scots and perhaps the English of Northumbria. This attention to the north of England explains how it was, for a significant part of a long career that spanned from years, from 941 to 981, Amleb, or Olaf Coron of Dublin, also ruled the Kingdom of York. The Vikings may have had to channel their energies in other directions because of the success of the Unail in preventing large-scale settlement in their territories. Eid Finlia launched a remarkable offensive against Viking bases from Lough Foyle to the Antrim coast in 866. Although he does not seem to have challenged their base in the sensitive estuary at Strangford, a Norse borrowing, Strangfjord, Rough Fjord, which was active in 879 and saw a Norse fleet again in 924. While the Strangford fleet assaulted Dunsvik on the coast of North Antrim in 926. Strangford was, of course, in Ulaid territory, and one can imagine the king of Kinneil Noan being indifferent to their plight. In any event, the major victory by local Ulaid forces against the Norse of Strangford in 943 seems to have been the nail in the latter's coffin. The Kinneil Noan would have greater concern about Viking activity and what was for them the vital waterway of Lough Foyle, but do not seem to have been successful in removing the ship camp there that was still active in 898, as the foreigners of Lough Foyle were engaged in local warfare as late as 943. It is possible that the Norse fleet, reported to be on the Erne Lakes in 924, 33, and 36, was more than just a predatory incursion from further afield, and that the Norse presence on Loch Ness in 900 and 928 was converted into a fixed camp under the Jarl Thorolb in 930. Although Thorolb was killed by the combined armies of the kings of the Northern Unail and the Ulaid in 932, the camp remained active for some time afterwards, until its fleet was finally destroyed by Donal Uanail in 945. Or Neil Uanail. All in all, given that the north of Ireland was the most vulnerable to a sustained Viking assault because of its proximity, because of its proximity to their colonies in western Scotland and the Isles, the achievement of the O'Neill in preventing permanent large-scale Viking settlement was remarkable indeed. Of course, as has been pointed out, in the long run this may have actually had as many economic drawbacks as had short-term political advantages. After all, from the Viking bases in one's hinterlands came the possibilities of hiring their fleets and their army, and from their trading emporia that the Irish-based Vikings developed came wealth. Perhaps in defeating the Vikings, the O'Neill cut off their own nose to spite their face. The same cannot be said. O'Neill. It's literally Ua or Ua. Ua is literally Ua and the Neil. The same was not true of the south. By 860 there seemed to have been a Viking camp, military camp at Waterford, whose fleet was destroyed in Osraig that year, while in 862 Longford Rathlev, the encampment of the Viking chief Holdofir, which may have been at Dunrally, County Laois, was destroyed by the King of Logis in northwest Leinster. They must have been making their presence felt in the Shannon estuary because they killed the King of Corco Baskind in South County Clare in 864, while Jarl Tomrar of Lumnook, which at this time may still mean the Shannon estuary rather than a later Viking base of Limerick, attacked Clontarf with his base in the estuary in 866. Tolma, it's like Tom or Aor. Tomrar. I bet the Vikings were like really ferocious, so they liked putting rar at the end of their names, so they could go, I am Tomrar. And the foreigners of Lumnook were defeated by the Connacht men in 887. A Viking fortress at Youghal were destroyed by the Daeshi in 866, who followed this victory by killing the chief of the Cork Vikings the following year, while in 868 the king of Barchatir in South County Wexford demolished the Doon fortress of the foreigners, presumably in his territory, although he died in doing so. Nevertheless, these regular triumphs over the Viking bases did not eliminate them from the south, and in 892 we hear of a battle against the combined forces of Viking forces of Waterford, Wexford, and St. Mullins. Although a clear major split emerged among the Vikings of Ireland in 893, headed by those of Dublin, which led to a large-scale exodus from the country, they had in fact returned with some force within a year, by now heavily involved in slaving. So when they went to Armagh in 895 and brought 710 people away into captivity, Tomrar. Don't start Haru on Toma. But a mass expulsion of Vikings was effected by the King of Leinster in 902, when he drove them from their long fort at Dublin, and there is no record of Irish-based Viking activity, as opposed to sporadic encounters by Irishmen with Vikings from further afield, for more than a decade until 914, when a great fleet landed at Waterford and established what would become a permanent base. This was undoubtedly perceived by the Irish as a urgent threat, and heavy emphasis is placed by contemporary writers on both the impact of the Viking restoration and the widespread and concerted Irish opposition they faced, led by the new king of Tara, Niall Glundubh, all the more so after they succeeded in re-establishing themselves in Dublin in 917. As we have seen, Niall became the first king of Tara to die in battle with Vikings when he was unsuccessful in a critical confrontation with them at Ciel Moshamach, at Island Bridge near Dublin, in 919, revenge for which was obtained by his successor Don at the Battle of Tig Mic Éachtacht in County Meath the following year. How do I spell all of these? So, for example, Glundubh. Wait, hang on. Is that the correct spelling? Wait. Sorry, Glundub. Uh, what's another one that I'm trying to say? For example, Kael Mashamok. You don't have the fodder. That's okay. That's okay. This is what I have to deal with. This is what I have to deal with while I'm reading. The Irish sources conceive of these conflicts in national terms. The annals of the four mast. Isn't that Shamrock? It could be Shamrock. Shamvok. Oh, what does Ofada? Ofada would be Shamvok. Because MH can make a V sound. If you think about Shawk. Yeah, MH can make a V sound in Irish. That's how we get the V. What's a good example of that? I'm pretty sure there's a name that has that. Irish name with V sound. Quiva. Quiva's a great version. A great name for that, actually. Quiva. I've heard some people call it Kiva, but no, it's Quiva. I understand why people have difficulty with Irish names. Siobhan. That's it's not exactly. Wait, how do you spell Siobhan again? Siobhan. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Why is BH and MHV now? Because that's just how it works. It can be V or W actually. It can be. I think it can be a W as well. But Siobhan, that's it. You spelling it SEA made me think. Oh, is it SE? Is it SAE or something or SIA? But no, it's Siobhan. Which is stupid. I see that name so much, too. Anyway, let me finish because we're literally on the last two paragraphs. The Irish sources conceive of these conflicts in national terms. The annals of the Four Masters ascribe the Battle of Kael Shavok as a victory over the Irish by the foreigners. Gael Dalev Ria Nagalev. The annals of Ulster have something similar, saying that the heathens won a battle at Dublin against the Irish. Bellum ri native Ocdovlin Nagoyelu. And the annals of Inishfallen painted as a defeat of the men of Ireland for Firul Herend. When it was followed, within a year, by Don Cadon slaying a large number of Norse at Tig Mic Aethok, the Chronicon Scotorum reports that slaughter was inflicted on them so that it was impossible to count them, but there was more foreigners killed than there were Irish killed in the preceding battle. Nearly a century was to pass before the Battle of Clontarf, but it is clear that the Irish had already begun to imbue these epic encounters with the foreigners, or with the foreigner, so foreigner in this case has a capital F, with the foreigner with more than a tinge of national sentiment, and to conceive of their champion in such contests as a national hero. This, of course, is the mantle that Brian was to assume. In the same way that you, as Inderel Nerevar, when your character in Morrowind is a Nerevarine, the mantle of Inderel Nerevar, clearly Brian Boru mantled like Fionn McCool. He was a what did they call it again? A Shezarine, I think, is the mantle of Lorcan of Shore. So a mantling of Fionn would be a Fionarine, a Fizzarine, a Fizzaririan. I don't know, a furine. Yeah, yeah, a fianine. There we go. That works too. But congrats, we made it past the introduction. We got past 60 pages. Well, 56, 57 technically. But we do actually move into part one, Brian Boru's world, which talks about the family of Brian Boru. There's actually a little genealogical record of all the different people, so that'll be good. They'll talk about the family of Brian Boru, Brian's rise to power, Emperor of the Gale, and then part two deals with Clontarf itself. So I think that'll be good. The next part is how long is the next part? Let me check. Goes from page 60 to 165. So effectively 100 pages. A little bit over 100 pages, which, assuming I kind of do about 20 pages a stream, will be about 5 streams. But we know some streams can definitely not do that, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I do have to be up early tomorrow, though, as usual. So I do unfortunately need to raid out and get myself ready for bed and brush my teeth and, well, floss, then use my water flosser, then use my toothbrush, then use some mouthwash. Oh, I should also put in, I actually have right next to me a tongue cleaner, a tongue scraper. Have you guys ever used those? They're weird. They're weird to use. But it's quite nice. It's a good thing to do. I definitely recommend if you haven't used one before, definitely do. It's Friday. Toothbrush with no toothpaste. You brush your teeth. I will. Now, of course, there's toothpaste on the goddamn toothbrush. The teeths. We will brush the teeths. Let's see who's around, who's doing things right now. Oh god, this is technically an ASMR stream, so I can't raid into people who are kind of like being a little bit loud, can I? Haru's very loud. We raided Haru recently too. We raided Prana a while back. You got raided, girl? Thank you for stream. Wait, what? You got raided, girl? Haru streams? No. not this Haru. No, not this Haru. Not this Haru, another Haru. Haru Mizuki. That is Sani Kink showing his actual IRL self on stream, showing his thighs. Okay, that's something if you guys want to go look at that later. I don't see anyone who's doing ASMR. Haru Renzuki. Yes, exactly. Oh wait, hang on. Steph Sue is doing reading. That's perfect. She has a very nice reading voice. Hehe. Eyes. Not yet. Ooh, Haru stream. Thank you, Haru. I hope it's Scipio Africanus. He's talking about steep banks and crystalline. Oh, crystalline. She stopped. She sighed. Ah, she stumbled. Crystalline Lake. I see. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. It's always very sweet for you guys to come. And thank you again to Shishi. I got the name right this time, guys. Don't worry. Listen, when I see X and I just think G. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. Garev Mila Mahagut and Slán Gafol, and I will see you guys next stream. Bye bye. Oh, hello, Coastly Ghost. You followed me earlier, but thank you so much for the first time chat. Thank you for the stream. Question mark? Are you thankful for the stream? I don't know. I don't know if I'd be thankful for my stream personally. You love your voice and design. Thank you so much, Ghost Coastly. That's very nice. I like Coastly. That's a great name. Oh my god, bye.